One of my fondest childhood memories was the weeks I spent at my grandparents' house during the summer. Not only would my grandmother spoil me absolutely rotten, because that's what grandparents do, but she also made sure that she taught me a thing or two that she thought was very important. For example, throughout the visit, we'd often go places. To church, the grocery store, and of course, the mall, because that's where the toy store was. And regardless of how many people were around, every single time we get to a door, my grandmother would stop and stare at it. It didn't matter how long she stood there or who else was waiting to go in behind her. She absolutely refused to touch that door. The only way anyone was going through was if I held the door for her and everybody else who was trying to go in. Now, it certainly wasn't because she was too weak to open it herself or felt like she needed a man, or in that case a boy, to hold it for her. No. In those moments, my grandmother was giving a lesson on the importance of being nice. I don't know about you, but I think folks today could really use a refresher course on how to be nice to other people. It seems as if our go-to emotions these days are anger, frustration, and hostility. If anyone dares to do anything that we don't like or we don't think is right, we'll let them know it in no uncertain terms. Somebody cuts us off in traffic, we'll honk the horn, yell out the window, and give them the old one-finger salute. Never mind the fact that it probably wasn't intentional, and we've done it hundreds of times ourselves. This time somebody did it to me, and that is simply unacceptable. If we're at a busy restaurant and it takes forever to get our food, and when we finally do, the steak is overcooked, even though the place is packed and she didn't cook it, we'll give that waitress a piece of our mind and leave her a 1 cent tip because we are way too much important to have to endure that kind of injustice. And if the cashier at a grocery store has the gall to tell us to wear shoes, we'll cuss them out, threaten to call the police, or tell them to step outside. Who cares if it's just a high school kid doing his job for minimum wage who had no part in making the rule and hates wearing shoes as much as we do? Who is he to tell us to do anything? Oh man, and what if someone makes a decision that we disagree with, or has an opinion that we don't like, and or has the audacity to say it in a way that we feel is inappropriate or offensive? Do you think we'll sit down and try to have a nice civil discussion about it? No way. After we call them up and let them have it, we'll take to social media to make sure the whole world knows the kind of person that so-and-so really is. You know, it's gotten to the point where we feel like everyone else should agree with us, cater to our every need, and do exactly what we want them to, when we want them to do it, and if they don't. So, whatever happened to being nice? When did it become acceptable to be so mean? What gives us the right to treat others with hostility and contempt? As Christians, we're taught the exact opposite. In addition to multiple times we're told to love one another and that folks will know that we are disciples through love, St. Paul tells us in his letter to the church at Ephesus what life in Christ should look like. He says, "Put away from you all bitterness and wrath and anger and wrangling and slander, together with all malice, and be kind to one another, tender-hearted, forgiving one another, as God in Christ has forgiven you." Simply put, we are told to be nice. Look, it's not hard to be kind, and in a world where there's so much pain and grief and anger, people today need someone to be nice. There's enough meanness and ugliness out there. Why should we add to it? As followers of Jesus Christ, you are called to be nice. Even if someone does something you don't like, even if someone says something you don't agree with, even if someone asks you to do something that you don't want to do, even if they aren't nice to you, be nice to them, because that's what Christians do. So be nice. I'm Pastor Stephen Mims, and That's your word for Wednesday. May God bless you.